Hello, coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to discuss on some interesting updates, starting with some transfer news as Barcelona are reportedly still working with the idea of signing a new midfielder in January. We are going to discuss more on that as we move ahead. Secondly, talking about centre back Inigo Martinez, as the Barca defender is reportedly in final stretch of recovery and he could return for the Las Palmas clash at the beginning of next year, 2024. We're also going to be discussing on that. So as we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the end. Barcelona can finally take a breather with the Christmas break on the way. The Catalan Giants recently played back-to-back twice across two different continents and will be taking advantage of the upcoming hiatus to freshen themselves up. However, the break also calls for some self-reflection as Barca's form during the first half of the season has been anything but satisfactory. Trailing behind Real Madrid and Girona in La Liga, it is clear that there are deficiencies in the squad worth addressing, and the inquiries in midfield, along with the absence of a natural defensive midfielder beyond Oriol Romeo, have weighed heavily. After Gavi was ruled out for the entire season with an ACL injury, President Joan Laporta announced that the club will be looking to fortify the midfield position this winter in search of a short-term stopgap solution. Now, as per Mundo Deportivo, Barcelona's idea is to, still sign a midfielder in the January transfer window. Although Gavi's injury paved the way for Victor Roque's premature registration, Barcelona still plans to reinforce the midfield department with a new face if financial fair play regulations can comfortably be complied with. As such, a plethora of midfielders have lately been linked with the Catalan Giants, ranging from pivot midfielders to advanced interiors. However, during this stage of the season, there are not many elite teams willing to let their players simply leave, so Barcelona's options are restricted. Moreover, the Blaugranas also cannot spend too much money given their financial difficulties. As per previous report, Barcelona are looking for new Edgar Davids to strengthen the squad in a short-term basis. Laporta reaffirmed that the intention is to bring in a player on a short-term loan who can have a noticeable influence, similar to what Barca accomplished with Edgar Davids. Renato Sanchez, Calvin Phillips, Andre Santos, Thomas Partey, Pierre-Emile Hojberg, Jan Villa, and Georgios Kroshkak have all reportedly entered Barcelona's crosshairs. Of course, the January window is not far from now, and of course, the winter window will open officially. And of course, Barcelona have been eyeing some midfielders to strengthen the team. And considering the fact that Oriol Romeo has not been at his best and have not been that caliber of player that we need to replace Sergio Busquets from all indications, Barcelona have been putting their eyes on the market to see how they can bring in a new pivot. But it looks as though it's going to be very difficult right now because the players that Barca actually will cherish to have will not be able to make it. Because as I said earlier, the January transfer window is more complicated in the sense that there are many clubs out there that they won't allow their top stars to leave. And Barca will be targeting the top players too. Even though I don't know where they will take the money, by the way. But it's difficult to get actually what you want in the January transfer window. So but nonetheless Barcelona are still eyeing they're still eyeing the midfielders, They still have a lot of them in the wish list, and they will definitely try to go for one that they can afford. Of course, with Sergio Busquets, who departed to Inter Miami last summer, paved the way for Barca to bring in a new pivot to replace him. We had Subimendi and Joshua Kimmich as the first choices for Xavi's, and of course, none of them were interested. By the way, in fact, the money was not there. That's even the first thing. Barca could not afford to bring in those two top midfielders, and I don't know if they'll be able to afford top class midfielders given their current financial predicament. So as it stands right now, there are still players that Barca wants, but the problem is financially it's going to be difficult to get what they actually want. But of course, let's see how it goes from now to January. Because Barca don't have any big plans of signing many players, by the way. Neither do they have any plans of selling key players or even players. They don't want to sell. They don't want to do any shake up for now, but they just need a DM. A certain Vitor Roque will be joining, according to reports. Of course, he's already closer to moving to Barcelona, and he will play in January. Then on to the final story of discussion. The mid-season break comes at an opportune time for FC Barcelona, allowing them to regroup and recharge their batteries after a string of dodgy performances and uncharacteristic results. The 2-week Christmas break also paves the way for Xavi Hernandez to recover some of his injured players for the second half of the season. One such player who could be ready to make a comeback in 2024 for Barcelona is veteran defender Inigo Martinez. Indeed, as per Javi Miguel of AS, Martinez is in the final stage of recovery from an injury and could be at Xavi's disposal for Barcelona's first game of 2024 against Las Palmas. It should be remembered that Martinez picked up an injury during warm-up for the match against Atletico Madrid on December 3. It was a muscular injury, right thigh femoris biceps, with reports suggesting that he would be out for at least a month. And everything indicates that this deadline will be met to the letter, as the idea is that the player will be medically discharged on January 3rd so that he can be included in the squad against Las Palmas. In any case, the priority objective is for the defender to be fully recovered for the Spanish Super Cup a week later when the semi-final against Osasuna is played. Prior to his injury, Martinez had developed into an important asset for Xavi and Barcelona, establishing himself as a regular in the starting 11. After having recovered from previous injury, the veteran Spaniard was leading the defensive line with authority and acting as a dynamic player with his movement and usage of the ball. As such, his return will be a welcome boost for Barcelona, as he not only adds value with his ball carrying abilities, but also with his strength and his physicality. But Martinez's return would spell trouble for the likes of Jules Koundé and Andreas Christensen, neither of whom has been at their best in recent matches. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.